Okay, here we go. For writing today, again, we're just going to go over directions quick. We're going to work on them when we get back. Today, we are going to be working on alternate endings. So remember, students, that today in our reading, our read aloud, Mole and Rat are lost in the wildwood. And they're lost in the wildwood because of what? What's making them be lost?
It's snowing.
It's snowing. They are lost in the wild because of the snow. Eventually, they're going to stumble upon Badger's door and they knock on it, right? Hoping that Badger is going to give them some shelter, a place to stay for the night. What do you think would have happened in this story if it would have been summer instead of winter? So think about how things would change if it would have been summer instead of winter. Take a moment to brainstorm. What would be different if it would be summer instead of winter? Cooper, sit up, be a part of this classroom. What would be different, Cooper, if it would be summer rather than winter? What would be some things that would change?
Rat wouldn't find Mole because they couldn't track down his footprints.
What a great one. If it would have been summer instead of winter, Rat may have never found him. He wouldn't have had footprints to be falling after, right? What a great one. I wasn't even thinking of that one, Cooper. What else might change if it would have been summer rather than winter? Kason.
Badger would have been awake and they would have kept knocking on his door and he would open up and be like, and then he'd go away.
Possibly, right? So we know that there's a good chance, and we haven't gotten to what's going to happen once they knock on the door, but there's a good chance if it would have been summer, Badger might be awake. They might not have to knock quite so hard, and maybe some different events would happen. Good. Zoe, what else could happen if this would have been summer rather than winter?
In the summertime, if Mole and Rat were separated, they could get lost.
So that, yep, and did they get lost this one too, though? Yeah, so kind of some events might be the same if it's summer than winter, that they get separated, they get lost. Good. Haley, what else could be different if it was summer rather than winter?
Mole would be so afraid, and he would have just went along, and he wouldn't get lost.
So we might think that maybe Mole wouldn't be quite as afraid, right? But we have to think of why wouldn't he be as afraid? It wouldn't be so cold, right? Would that help you be less afraid? Maybe some of those shadowy faces that are popping up at him, maybe they would just be out because maybe they're hiding for the winter. They're in their homes. Could it be a little, do you guys ever feel like maybe winter's a little bit creepy?
No.
The sun doesn't shine as much. There's more clouds.
No.
I think of summer and I think of bright and cheery and sunny. And then in the winter, there's a lot of clouds and it's not as beautiful. Well, sometimes it's very gorgeous, but
I love them.
so maybe even the scenery would be changing, right? So instead of piles of snow and having to dig to find this house, what might they see?
Yeah.
They might just see his house right away. What else would they be seeing if it was summer instead of winter? Griffin.
No, Rabbit, he said, well, it's kind of hard to tell with all the snow. It looks different.
But what might they see if it was summer?
They might see, like, the house from
They might see the house right away.
Maybe he's outside.
Maybe other creatures, even Badger, could be outside. Zena.
They could see that there was snow on the ground and then the water wasn't frozen.
Good. So they might actually see the water. There wouldn't be snow. What would there be? So that's a lot of there wouldn't be. What would there be? Right?
There would be, no animals.
So what would there be?
There would be, sunshine and a clear river.
Sunshine, clear river. What do we see outside when we look outside, guys? We see
Trees.
trees. We see sun. We see green grass. Do you think these are things they might see in the wildwood as well? There might be more animals about as well, too. Okay, today what we are going to do for writing is you guys have a little break here in just a moment to start thinking about it. You are going to be writing an alternate ending. So alternate ending means a different ending, and you're going to be thinking about how would things change if things were different. You might try and think about if one of the alternate endings we're going to think about is it's summer, and our alternate ending and our changed story, it's going to be summer. So you need to think about how are you going to describe the setting of our story. When you think about our alternate ending, think about what problems or solutions they might have if it was summer instead of winter, kind of what's happening in the time in our story if it was summer instead of winter. Okay, so that's going to be our focus today. How are our endings going, or how would our story be different, especially specifically the end of what happened in our story if it would be summer instead of winter? You guys have a little break here to be thinking about it, and then we will come back in and we will continue, and we're going to start that writing process. So right when you guys get in, we'll get CKLing notebooks out and we will write. Sound good? Thinking about the alternate ending to what is happening in writing.